Mark, for you, any golf over the weekend? I know you were working.
Okay, who cares what I did on the weekend? Okay, I worked like normal. Let's get to the headline. Stop burying the lead, Adam. Okay, bump,
Exactly.
bump. Another one bites the dust. Yeah, baby. Adam Scully got engaged this weekend, Bob. How about that? He proposed to Taylor. She said yes. Mama Skulls, I'm sure, is thrilled. Her baby boy, our baby boy, is finally walking down the aisle. Isn't this awesome?
All I can say is it's about flipping time.
Okay, Adam, get to it. Give us the goods. How did this go down? It happened fast. Give us the inside scoop right here.
It certainly did. Well, my better half, Taylor, can only hear my side of the story here. I know she's going to re-listen to this on iHeartRadio, the podcast app, everywhere you can find it. I know Mama Skulls is watching. She actually rescheduled her entire morning to make sure she was tuning in. Anyway, it was Sunday morning, and so things happened very quickly for me. I know you guys have walked down the aisle before. We'll get to that later. Well, anyway,
some of us more than once, right? Bob and I have done it many, many times.
We're veterans.
Anyway, I struck up the nerve to call Taylor's father, Paul, last Tuesday after we did our show. And you guys know last week was a big one for our family with the Rick Scully Memorial Golf Tournament, which I'm sure we'll get to as well. But there was a lot of anxiety around that, about putting together a full golf tournament. But after I called Taylor's dad, my heart was beating so fast. And the funny thing about that was we're on the phone, and the fire alarm goes off in the building. So I'm like, well, these might be my last words I ever say to anyone, so hopefully the building doesn't go down. Anyway, he said yes. Paul McGuckin, great guy. So after that, the wheels are in motion because I had subtly picked up the ring. I had hidden it in one of the staff bags we have here, which I know my better half will absolutely never look into, right? So, and then the idea came to me. So this past Sunday would have been my dad's 66th birthday. So I thought, how special would that be to have a couple of things to celebrate? And so on Saturday, we actually spent the night up in Guildford, Ontario, where Taylor's parents live. And her dad pulled me aside. He wanted to go get some ice from a cooler and said, hey, are we doing this? Are we good? I said, oh, yeah,
are we doing this?
We're good. So as you guys can imagine, I'm not the greatest sleeper in the best of days, but Saturday night, that was not a great sleep anyway. I was tossing and turning and waiting. Go for a walk on Sunday morning. I've never asked Taylor to go for a walk in my life, and quite frankly, probably never will again unless there's golf clubs on our back, because me walking... I'd rather just sit and relax. Anyway.
You want to go for some lifting this morning? Or go for a lift?
Yeah. Do you want to go for a gun run, honey? No. Okay. That wasn't quite on the agenda. So go for a big walk. She was telling me some story about a family friend that was going in one ear, out the other, because I couldn't hear anything at that point. Finally came up with the nerve, went down on one knee. She said yes, which was amazing, and we had some 10 a.m. champagne, which I maybe wouldn't recommend.
Was this a member guest all of a sudden? Hold on. What's going on?
That's right. For those who intermittent fast like I do, breaking the fast with champagne at 10 in the morning, interesting strategy, bold strategy, Cotton. Anyway, so the thing about that is, and I know we're going heavy on this, but...
go.
The thing about this is I didn't tell any of my family I was doing this. I kept it a deep, dark secret. And for those, I'd like to think I'm a decent secret keeper. So anyway, we were celebrating what would have been my dad's birthday this past Sunday with my mom, Ruth, my sister, Sarah, husband, Mark, their daughter, Poppy, who's turning 3 in a couple weeks' time now. Walk in to my mom's place, have a bottle of champagne in my hand. And she said, oh, you got champagne for Rick? That's so nice. And I said, yes, we do, but we also have some other news to announce. And then Taylor flashed the ring. And then it wasn't quite a dog pile from there in celebration, but it was like, after like the Europeans win the Ryder Cup every time. We didn't pop the champagne, but a lot of jumping around. So that's that, boys.
Well, congratulations. Couldn't be more thrilled for you. And Taylor, if you're listening, birthdays, Christmas, for eternity, look in the staff bag, dear. Look in the staff bag.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, the thing was, boys, I have to give a shout out to Ring Come True, who is a little boutique around the corner, close to the shops at Don Mills. The box they gave this thing in, there was the box for the ring, and then there's this huge box with everything else in it. I'm like, how am I going to hide this thing? I mean, I'm not exactly the sharpest tool in the drawer on the best of days, but anyways, that was a really cool moment. And
Bob and I have one request: just do
Please.
not pick a date the week of the RBC Canadian Open. Don't jam us up like that, okay?
Yeah, that wouldn't be ideal. But before we go to news and headlines, I know you guys want to talk about it a little too with the Rick Scully Memorial Golf Tournament held on Thursday. Weeksy, I know you were there, and I was on the microphone at the end of the day. And Mark, get this: couple things. 29 groups went through the pace of play, 4 hours 20 minutes.
Well done.
Secondly, you put my over-under on 4 calls at 12.
Yes.
I got to 5.
Wow.
Only 5. Now, I probably should have yelled 4 a couple of times, but I did keep my lips shut. I did hit a breakfast ball for the first group because that might not have got out of my shadow. But it was an amazing day, Bob, and I know you had a good time with your foursome as well.
It was a wonderful day. We had the Golf Talk Canada foursome out there, and we had Nick Obrich and Kristen Murphy and TJ Rule, and for most of the day I sort of sat and watched. I sank a couple of putts, but that was about it. TJ and Nick are very good players. Kristen actually helped a lot as well. When she connects, man, she can hit it a mile. So we had a good time, good foursome, good dinner, and I can't tell you how well organized it was. So smooth, no hiccups, no waiting, not even for dinner. I mean, it was sailing right through, and I'm glad. I hope it raised a lot of money for that worthy cause.
Yeah, thank you, Bob. And we
guys,
raised.
Sorry, awesome. I wish I could have been there. I felt so bad I wasn't there. And Bob, there's only one thing I have to say why he was 5 4s and not low under. QI 10. That's it. QI 10.
Yes.
Without the QI 10, my number of 12 is a lot better a year ago than it is this year.
No, you're totally right. And speaking of TaylorMade QI10 driver, I have to give a shout out to Nick from TaylorMade. One of the biggest surprises of the evening. There were a couple surprises. We held a long drive contest on a different hole, but on our brochure, that TaylorMade, by the way, of course, we said special surprise for the winners, and Sammy Ho from Adidas and family friend Henry Lewell were the winners. And I said, hey, you guys don't know what you're winning. You just won the long drive. Imagine how much faster you'd be with the fastest, most forgiving driver in golf. And I picked up the 2 TaylorMade QI10 drivers, handed them off. Bob, I know you were sitting with Sammy from Adidas at this time, right?
She was shocked. I want to say 2 things. One, on the long drive hole, I really crunched one, and I saw my ball go past the sign that was in the fairway, and I thought, okay, like I've really done something. I got up. That was the women's long drive, and it was where Sammy had hit it, and I was only about a foot past it. So I mean, I know she crunched it, but isn't it a little? We were discussing this at the table. In fact, Sammy was the one who brought it up. She said, "Isn't it unusual that for the longest drive you get a new driver?" And she said, but she was looking forward to it. So she had the QI10, and she was pretty excited.
You guys are so right about this. Longest drive, like, shouldn't you get a putter or something? And like, my friend Robert Arms, who's a member of the Toronto Line, he came up with the best idea ever, that if you ever win a prize as a 18 handicap higher than an 18, so if you're a 19 or higher, do you ever win a prize at a golf tournament, it should come in the form of golf lessons only. That's all you should be allowed to accept are golf lessons.
That's a great idea.
I think that's a great idea,
That's a
Mark.
great idea.
As I was telling people,
Anyway, great tournament.
Thank you, Bob. It was an amazing tournament. Raised around $95,000 for CJD Research too, which is a crazy number to say out loud. And we also played out an interview I did with our researcher who we're raising money towards. That is actually now on YouTube. So we want to get that out. We want to share the news. As you can imagine, that was, I know, Bob, you saw it. It was a challenging interview to do. It was a very emotional interview to do. But we thought it was a very important interview because people, we lost my dad because of CJD, which is a very rare neurological disease. But when you go into it and actually figure out what this thing is, it's truly a wild disease and crazy that it's a real thing. But anyway, thank you to everyone who showed up. 16 whole sponsors, including you, Mark, with Golf Talk Canada, over 80 donors. It was a truly, truly remarkable day.